Carlos Nelson with Cascade Media Group, and this is the third edition in our series of Wave of the Future students that we have located that are high achievers. And today we have Mr. Avery Pardue, who's a student at North Carolina A&T. How you doing today, Avery?
I'm doing good, Mr. Nelson. How you doing? It's good to be talking to you.
All right. Want you to run it down from the time you came out the womb to where you're at now. I asked you to look at a couple of the other interviews. Run it down. Who's been a mentor in your life? Who's helped you achieve the goals that you have achieved? And tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
All right, it's a long list, but I'll just start at the beginning. So I was born in Kansas City, but most of my education and growing up was mainly Lathrop, Kansas. So
what high school? Give particulars so our people know what's up.
Okay, yeah. I graduated from Lathrop North High School, but growing up, I went to Green Springs Elementary, Frontier Trail Middle School, and especially in high school. Well, I'll just kind of stick to high school because that's more recent. But some of the things that I did while I was in high school, I was really active in band and also some extracurricular activities that dealt with science and STEM. So I'll just start off with band. Band, I played, alto sax. That was kind of one of my real big interests during high school. Jazz band, marching band, any type of ensembles, I was kind of into that.
What do you play? What instruments do you play?
The alto sax, I started off from the clarinet in middle school and then switched to alto sax when I was in high school. And then I stuck with that pretty much all the way through high school.
What type of music do you like to play?
It really any kind. I really like the classical concert band type material, but I really enjoyed jazz band. That was probably my favorite part. But I was there for anything during band.
That's what I wanted to know, whether jazz. I had a guest on, I think it was yesterday, they played the oboe.
Oh, yeah.
and so when I asked them, I said, well, what kind of music, that goes with the classical music. I was like, do you play any jazz?
Oh, they got jazz type music for all instruments,
Yeah. So go on with who you are. So you were very interested in music. What gave you that interest? Who piqued your interest as it relates to the musical side of your life?
Well, I think it kind of came somewhat self-motivated and just kind of always been interested in music. Being younger, my parents they just wanted us to try an instrument. I know my brother played the viola. He quit that after a couple years, but I played clarinet. I really just stuck with it. And when I switched to saxophone, I really got into jazz because I was I play saxophone. You got to play jazz on the saxophone. So I started listening to more of the music like Charlie Parker.
You getting heavy, baby.
John Coltrane. Yeah, older guys like that. And that's kind of how that really sparked my interest, because even in middle school when I played the alto sax, I would play jazz music, and that's kind of how I got my start. And it was just something I like to do. I love practicing.
1 to 10, what's your skill set, you would say? I wish I had your teacher there so I could get the real answer.
Oh, yeah. Had to wear some of the Aggie gear. But, I would say in my peak playing days, I was at 8, I want to say. I was pretty solid.
You were solid?
Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little more about what you're doing there at A&T. And what your major is. Talk about what your accomplishments are. We will have those accomplishments attached, your resume attached to this interview so that the people can see, but talk a little bit about what you're doing and how you became interested in doing what you're doing.
The program is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association.
A student here at North Carolina A&T. And during my freshman year, one of the things I think that got me a really good start was I started doing research, lab research with one of my professors here, Dr. Newman. And he's like really helped me kind of learn more, help me like careerize and with necessary like skills that deal with the lab. What I study in the lab, it deals with it's kind of complicated stuff, but it's like protein research, and one of the proteins we work with, ERK, is involved in many different like diseases that you know of today. So like cancer, some cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes. So it's kind of like,
And those are things that really affect Black people the most.
Yeah, no, definitely. I always like to tell people like the lab I work in, it doesn't have like a specific disease model. Like I don't focus on cancer or anything like that. But the protein I deal with, it is when it's misregulated or when something's wrong with it, you can see it in multiple different diseases. So that's kind of why we like to focus on it. But studying in the lab kind of gave me the got my foot into like my first internship, because after my freshman year, I had the opportunity to do more research on campus with one of the grad students and in Dr. Newman's lab with like the CIPRA program. And with that program,
what that is.
CIPRA is like an acronym for Sophomore Immersion Program in like Research and Academics. So it's just really to build undergraduate students for like the next step of like professional school and further education, and to get them like into research. So with that program, I had a research project that I conducted, and then I presented my research to some of the faculty and an audience at the university at the end of it.
Tell me this, going to HBCU, how different of experience mentally was it with you coming from, like, what did you say? You went to what high school again? Blue?
Olathe North.
Olathe North. Coming from that environment where it's a predominantly white institution to all Black campus per se. What was that like for you?
It was a little different, but at the end of the day, I really enjoyed it because it was kind of a learning experience, because I feel like, especially when you come from predominantly white areas, the definition of like Blackness is very like rigid and like it's a very odd definition, because I know like some of the things I did, they'll be like, oh, that's white, or that's not Black. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what does that mean? When you get to an HBCU, you kind of realize that, you got Black people from all over. So you kind of see like the whole diversity of like the Black community here at HBCU.
What I usually try to emphasize is that when one of our young youth like yourself go to a Black institution, you don't really have to fit in, because most of the people come from the same type of environment that you come from, and you're there. You don't have to feel uncomfortable, as in I have to behave a certain way, or I'm saying that's my take on it. I'm not putting words in your mouth, hopefully.
No, I would definitely agree with that perspective, because we kind of think like, oh, I gotta fit in and do X, Y, and Z. You kind of realize like, oh, like everybody here kind of does different things, has their own thing. Like we do things in Kansas City that they don't do in the DMV, and like vice versa. So it's
tell
just,
them with the DMV. When I have people talking DMV, we out in Kansas City. They don't know what DMV.
That's true. I had to learn when I came out here. DMV is like, what is it?
DC, Maryland,
Virginia.
They put that all in one lump on advertise. I meant to say on media, and it's just the general area. So, how do you like it down there in North Carolina?
I do enjoy it down here. I think it's one thing is because college life, so it's a different environment from what I grew up in. But I definitely like.
Have you visited North Carolina Central?
I have not. No, I have not. Not yet.
All right. See, I got a little something down there. In 69, 70, I was a freshman at Virginia State in Petersburg.
Okay.
And then I used to run on down to North Carolina Central, call myself meeting some ladies and meeting, you know, the college life. You know
Right,
what
yeah.
it is, especially on that East Coast with all them black colleges, Johnson C. Smith, or, you know, Elizabeth, where you at, it's a wonderful thing. So, what would you say to a young high schooler that wants to go to the next level in their academic pursuits? What would you say to them, what they need to be paying attention to right now?
Well, I would like to say like stay focused, kind of like have a goal and know what you want to do with your academics. Because I think it's important to kind of have the direction of what you're going. Like you want to study what you care about. Don't just like study for the sake of studying. So like I want to go into medicine. So things I study have that focus, have that direction. You know, I have friends who are want to be computer engineers or work with tech. Like that's what they do. You know, we get together. Like we don't understand what each other does, but you know, we have our focus. We have our own disciplines. So I would just say like stay focused and disciplined on what you want to do.
How do you feel about the current political situation in this country?
um,
As you representing your age group, being able to voice that, and that's one of the major things with this wave of the future. What are your age group thoughts on the political situation? And the second part of that question, do you feel that the Black political leadership locally, nationally, have been representing your interests?
That's a deep question. Well, how I feel first about the kind of political landscape, I think not just with my generation, but with other generations, we kind of feel that there needs to be some necessary changes. You can see these with all like the current protests going on. Everybody get out and vote, you know, because this November is going to be really crucial for a lot of people. One of the things that at least I see with Black leadership, I think on the local level, they have been like represented strongly in some scenarios, and I think that especially with these protests going on, like it has allowed for some people to like go for those leadership positions that like might not have been before, if you kind of get what I'm saying.
Well,
But I think
it's not whether I get what you're saying, it's for my audience, because my take on all of it is I like that group they call the Squad up there, Ocasio, and them. They're young and they're pushing forward. And we just did, I think I told you to take a look at some of the things we did. We just did an interview, I think it was Friday, with 2 members of the Missouri Black Caucus. And all of these people that are in their 20s and early 30s, they have a different view. It's like, hey, how about move over and let's get some things done that are going to benefit the planet, the community, and so forth. So you feel everything is all right? Is that what you're saying? The political?
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I was saying like that there are some things that need to be worked on, and I think that's why I say people should like get out and vote, because I think with the current administration, like current people in power, like people are definitely unsatisfied with how things are in this country.
The results that they're getting for their vote and their taxes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What kind of student movement do they have on AT&T campus, or do they have what's going on your campus as it relates to civic involvement?
Well, the main thing they're pushing here is getting registered to vote. I know our Student Government Association, NAACP here on campus, and also a lot of other organizations are really pushing that.
Are you a member of any of those organizations, NAACP, student type stuff?
Me, myself, no, not currently. The only organization I'm an active e-board involved member of is the Tri Beta Honor Society. It's like a biological honor society.
Don't hurt nobody, baby boy. Avery, you say the only thing I'm involved in is some egghead stuff. I love it. I
do medicine. That's what I'm trying to do.
All right. Now, tell me this, Avery. How important is it for you to have good support from your family and friends How has that affected your motivation?
I think I've always had like really good support from my family growing up. Like I said, kind of what I was talking about when I played an instrument. My parents never really forced me like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this. They just kind of let me find my own interests, and they supported me in what I do, and I really appreciate it. I not always like appreciated that it showed that the things I was willing to work for, and like when I found that thing, it was like, okay, like I know I'll take care of it. I know I'll handle it.
Did you play any sports?
Yeah, when I grew up, I played soccer pretty much all the way growing up until I got to middle school, and then I kind of fell off because I realized, I realized I enjoyed playing. I enjoyed being in the game. Didn't really like practicing that much though, so I knew that was gonna kind of limit me.
All right. So on a one to 10, how do you see the world at this point? Is it going to hell in a handbasket on 1 to 10, or where do you see the world that you live in? Because all of us we're living in our own little bubbles.
I think I'm be honest. I feel like I'm more optimistic.
Please be honest. That's what this whole program's about.
I'm be honest. I think I'm more optimistic. I think the world, like as a whole, is like getting better. It's like I think you look back in time. I think now is probably like, even with everything going on, 2020 has been a rough year. I think now is definitely like the best time to be alive with like all the current advancements in like technology, medicine, just other opportunities. Just now is like the best time to be alive. But there are definitely some things that need to be changed, like past injustices that we still have not fixed. But I think if I had to rate it.
What do you think about the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Ginsburg just passed away? How do you feel about that, and Trump and the Republican Party being able to possibly add another Supreme Court justice to the Supreme Court?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a bad decision to take the what am I trying to say? For an administration that could potentially be like removed from power in a few months, to like change pretty much the history of like everybody that comes behind them by making this pick. I think that's really like an unjust thing to do.
What are some of the major concerns that you have in your life?
Regards to just
in general, it might be health, it might be tiddlywinks. What are the things that are on your mind that you put time and effort that you think you'd like to see happen, or how, just in general, how you feel?
Okay. One of the things, I'm really focused. This is my senior year. I'm graduating. Me personally, I'm trying to get to that next step of, getting to medical school. So I've been writing essays, filling out my secondaries, trying to apply for that.
Which school would you like, if you could have your wish list, what medical school do you want to attend?
I'm not gonna say I have a top choice. I would definitely say I have a top couple. Go with the most like prestigious. I would say probably like Chapel Hill. The ones that I applied to were Chapel Hill, Johns Hopkins, and then maybe the Mayo Clinic. Oh, I'm also throwing.
You ever think about Medaharry?
Yeah, Medaharry's on my list.
Is on your list?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there anything that you would, parting words that you would like to convey to our audience?
No, nothing I can think about off the top of my head. It's been real good talking to you. You had some really good questions for me. I really enjoyed this.
Well, hold it. We enjoy having you on. And as I said, what we want to do is feature our young Black students that are high achievers like yourself, to let our community know that the baton is being passed, and it's being passed to individuals like you in our Wave of the Future series that are striving for excellence in whatever profession that you're in. You're trying to take yourself as well as our community to another level.
All right.
Any closing words?
Get out and vote, everybody. Get registered. Get ready for November. It's right around the corner.
All right. As we always say in our closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing